Hey, thanks for joining me on your break. I'm always looking for ways to get more sales easier. Turning your break into a coaching break is a great way for me to help you get more sales easier too. Let me ask you a question. How many opportunities do you need to get a sale? Do you know the answer, or are you guessing? If you're guessing, you're like most salespeople. But the problem with guessing is, how can you reach your sales goal if you don't know what it'll take to get you there? And at what point are you confident you contacted enough people? Given that our stated goal all along has been to make more sales easier, can you get more sales with fewer leads, fewer opportunities? And if so, how few? Most people want the answer to be, a few opportunities is all you need, but we are afraid to say that out loud because the message that's been beaten into salespeople's heads by our managers and our trainers is more is always better. But wait, let's examine that for a second. If too few opportunities aren't enough to get a sale, then what changes when we add more? Do the odds of one of our opportunities closing, which is low when there are only a few opportunities, somehow improve when we add a few more? How does that happen? How do the newly added opportunities increase the odds of closing the few opportunities that were already waiting in our pipeline? Wait. We are getting into dangerous waters. Up until now, you were sure more is better. That if we throw more stuff against the wall in the form of adding more to our pipeline, we're increasing the odds that one will close. Not only close, but close soon when we need it to close, which is likely within the next 1 to 3 months and possibly next 3 weeks. But now we realize that we're basing that assumption on an illogical premise. If quantity, that is, the number of opportunities in your pipeline or stuck to your wall, isn't the magic bullet which magically brings us all success, then what is the magic bullet? The only other possibility is to make more sales easier with fewer, higher quality prospects. That makes sense. But how do we do that? Our success depends on that answer. We've been building up to this conversation through our first 9 coaching sessions. Do it again. Our success depends on that answer. We've been building up to this conversation through our first 9 coaching session podcasts, which is why we made getting more sales easier while reducing the risk of missing your goal by adopting a pipeline management mindset the topic for this 10th session. Today, I will explain how to adopt a pipeline management mindset instead of the more common throw more stuff against the wall mindset, which is the default message of managers and trainers who memorized famous pre-internet sales sayings. Back then, we never really knew what made people decide to buy, but we saw a connection between quantity and success. The best explanation was that by calling enough people and showing enough proposals, you occasionally make a sale, which follows the even older rule of blind squirrels finding nuts buried in the ground if they dig enough. Pipeline management is when you optimize yourself to make your pipeline right. Let me give you a simple analogy. If I don't understand the weather, I do a rain dance when I need more water. Eventually, it does rain, and I mistakenly believe the dance caused the rain. What do we do when it's not raining? More dancing. Pretty soon, it's a dance marathon. Adding more to your pipeline, thinking that the quantity alone will cause sales, is the rain dance that most sellers and their managers are dancing to. Once you understand the causes of rain, you'll manage your time differently, less time dancing, and more time managing your water supply, and probably feel a little silly for doing all those dances. Give me 15 minutes, and I'll show you how to think pipeline management in order to be a rainmaker instead of a marathon dancer. As always, let's begin our discussion with today's question. At what point do you like your odds? The short answer is, no matter how many opportunities you have in your pipeline, you will not like your odds. The problem with more calls, more emails, more follow-ups is that you never have enough, and you're always failing. But when you have the right prospects in your pipeline, you will be very confident. And you will have the right prospects in your pipeline when you adopt a pipeline management mindset, which is a 3-step process. Step 1 is figuring out what your pipeline is supposed to look like. To do that, ask yourself, how many big sales do you need to close each month and each quarter? How many average-sized deals do you need to close each month and each quarter? How many small-sized deals do you need to close each month and each quarter? And if you're an account manager handling existing accounts and you're responsible not only for renewals but upsells and add-ons, then ask this question. How many upsells and add-ons do you need to close each month and each quarter? Why do you need those answers first? Because your ideal or aspirational pipeline determines the right prospecting strategy needed to get you there. Need a lot of small sales? Contact a lot of managers who run departments that potentially need your solution. Need one really big sale each month or quarter? Then call a few presidents or owners. The gap analysis of comparing your actual pipeline to your ideal pipeline will reveal what's working as planned and what's not. That kind of thinking leads to optimizing your habits, tactics, and strategies. Step 2 is narrowly defining and carefully inspecting your 90% pipeline sales stage. That is, the stage just before closed. While you can't make any individual sale close, you can manage your time, your territory, your sales process so that you always have at least one more sale in this column than you need to reach your goal. Let's plug in numbers to make it easier to visualize. Let's say I'm looking to close 3 average-size deals every month. To get there, I'll need 3 opportunities to move from the 90% column to the closed stage every month. So if I need 3 sales to close, I need to begin with at least 4 opportunities in the 90% stage. Now, a lot of people want to correct me. They want the answer to be, no, you don't need 4. You need 6 to 10 opportunities to close one. Those people can't get that pre-internet advice out of their heads. Your 90% stage isn't a holding spot for random prospects. It's a temporary parking space reserved for your best prospects. No other prospects are allowed to park there. The prospects in 90% all told you something like, get me the contract, or I'll get you our contract, or words to that effect. Then we double-check their meaning by asking something like, when do you think I'll have the signed contract in my hot little hands, or words to that effect? And they answered by telling you something like, tomorrow, or this week, or in the next 1 to 30 days. Those are rock-solid prospects. When you close a 90%er, you didn't simply close any old prospect. You closed one of your best prospects. The good news is that it finally closed, perhaps following a long sales cycle. The bad news, well, now that it's closed, your 90% column is down a prospect. If we don't replace it with an equally strong prospect, we will quickly run out of prospects. Pipeline management is about maintaining the strength of the 90% stage. When you do that every month is a good sales month. Step 3 is inspecting your pipeline velocity. Before prospects finally get to the 90% stage, they are at the 10%, the 25%, the 50%. Some of you have more stages. Some of you have slightly different percentages, but a variety of stages representing prospects from first appointment through the delivery of the proposal. When you inspect these pipeline opportunities right, you will maximize your time with prospects more likely to close while minimizing your time with the rest. To do that, compare each sale you're working on to a similar closed sale so that we can determine what is the usual sales cycle for sales of that size. That is, how long do similar sales that close usually spend at all these various stages, at 10%, at 25%, at 50%. Let's say that the average value deal usually closes within 8 weeks of the first meeting. If you're still working on an average size deal in week 9, you are now wasting time with a prospect that is less likely to happen. As we discussed in earlier coaching sessions, you may be overly influenced by the psychological factors of confirmation bias and sunk cost thinking, and ironically, not give up on opportunities that are too old, arguing that these are different. If you hear yourself making that argument, ask yourself, different from what? Are your older prospects different from the sales that usually close, similar to sales that seldom close? Really? Why would you want any of them? Pipeline management will change you from a dance marathoner to an efficient seller who hits their goals. If you are a one-person company, you now have a way to run your pipeline meeting like a professional sales team. If you are running a sales team where everyone is following this pipeline management process, your team will have a more accurate forecast. If you are a member of that team, you will hit your goal by not running out of sales. Let's summarize. Quantity is less important than quality when managing your pipeline. To maintain the right quality, you need to put your pipeline through a 3-part process where you determine your ideal pipeline, maintain the quality of your 90% stage, and use your average sales cycle as the way to judge everything else. When the manager and the team follow this system, everyone will have a better sales year with more accurate forecasts. New hires will quickly ramp up because they're learning from the team what a winning pipeline needs to look like and the sales activities that will get you there. Seasoned sellers will be able to share best practices for accelerating sales before they stall out. And managers will spend more time coaching and less time doing sales administration, which is what happens when everyone has their own way of managing their pipeline. Here are 4 actions you could take this week to begin the process of properly managing your pipeline. A. Determine your ideal pipeline and compare your ideal to your real pipeline. B. Inspect the 90% and pre-90% stages to eliminate everything that doesn't fit our rigid definitions. C. If you want an easy way to get your team to follow this pipeline management system, go to our website, www.dmtraining.net. Contact me if you need any help finding what you need. D. Look at your calendar or diary and select the best day to reserve a coaching break with me. Working together, I'll help you get more sales more easily. Next week, apart from my sales advice, you will find my interviews with experts in sales, digital media, and management. I've found nothing inspires you to launch a successful career or relaunch your own career more than learning from experts. The experts I interview are the ones who inspire me. Until next time, remember, I'm Steve Bookbinder, your sales coach. Thanks for sharing your break with me. Please check out our training specials for individuals and teams on our website, dmtraining.net. Also, please connect with me on LinkedIn. Send an email or email to steve@dmtraining.net if I can help you and your team make more sales more easily.